Good morning, zookeepers, and welcome back. Today we're on Planet Zoo and we're going to be making an enclosure for the capybara. This is the first time I'm making one, and I have a slight bit of inspiration. I can't remember where I saw the photo, and I don't actually have the photo saved, but I saw this sort of what I'd call hobbit hole enclosure. So there was this big mountain at the back with a little hole in it, lots of rocks, plants on top, plants around it, and then underneath was the pool. And I have quite a vivid memory of that, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be making that style, and this kind of enclosure we are going to go for the capybara. Now, as you see right now, I'm making this little shack thing. This is more for the zookeepers, and I'll probably put the food bowl in there and possibly the water bowl, mainly because the enclosure is going to be pretty hectic in there. A lot of stuff going on. I don't want to make it too big, and so there might not be enough space, or it might just ruin the terrain trying to put those items down. So I just made this little shack that they can go in, and as well it allows me to add the staff gate in there, and that's their way into the enclosure. As you can see, I've done a small ragged wooden border all the way around. I do like those kind of logwood borders, and then I'm just going to add all these posts and make a chain fence all the way around. I was going to add a separation barrier between the guests and the capybara, but in the end I didn't end up making that. I just left it as were, so I actually quite like the way it looked. And it's going to be a bit difficult for the guests to get their hands into capybara. Yes, it can be have quite a dangerous bite, but really they are pretty docile and extremely friendly, and the chance of getting bitten is not high. It's not impossible, but so yeah, I didn't bother with the stand barrier. I bet pretty much the capybara would love to have its little head itched. Not saying when you go to zoo try and physically itch the capybaras unless they have a meet and greet and you get told to do so, but in my case in this zoo, if the capybaras want a little itch, the guests can give them that little itch. As you see right now, I'm just sort of scaping the hill, and I'm pretty terrible at scaping hills on here. As you can see, I leave a lot of my enclosures pretty flat. But so this is the first time really properly messing around with the scaping tools and trying to make a cave system. I've done it before on one of my other maps where I've been just messing around, made a cave system. I think that was for walls. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. I think it was the beginning of the year when I was just messing around with things. Now my only issue is I've made this cave. The hole is huge to get in. But when I actually add the capybara, they won't go in. And when I go on a heat map for the capybara, it doesn't actually show me where they can transverse. It just lights them up blue. It'll show me where the zookeepers can go, but it won't actually show me where the capybara will go, and if it's because it's the entrance or the roof is not high enough. I mean, to be honest, it looks huge in there when I go inside. I even put a little webcam in there so it's connected to a screen a little bit later on. But I'm still confused why the capybara will not go in there. The bedding's in there and it looks cool, but yeah, oh well, never mind. It looks nice. That's the main part. We're on Sandbox. They're not going to be bothered that they've not got a place to sleep, so it looks nice. But I'd hope to figure out why they won't go in there. That hole's huge that they can go through, so I'm not entirely too sure what's going on there. If someone could who actually knows what's going on could let me know, because when I got told as well to do the size of the box that the animal comes in. If you look at that size, if it's smaller than that, then it's definitely not going to get through there, but the box could quite comfortably fit through that circular entrance, so yeah. But nevertheless, I really did enjoy the look of this and making this hill. I'm just adding, as you can see, tons of rocks layering up. I didn't do too much of the back because you're not really going to see the back. It's more of the staff path and everything, so I did focus more on the front and also on top when I get added into the trees. Sort of just painting the inside up in there and mess around. As you'll see a bit later on, I kind of slightly destroy it each time and have to fix it each time when I'm doing different things. Just the nature of the game, I suppose, and me being a bit of a klutz, especially when placing down the bedding, things like this. I feel like I went slightly overboard with a lot of the plants. I did want this pretty planted. I didn't do too much in the sense of using like grassy plants because they didn't have much. And I know in Sandbox I could just use whatever I feel like it, but I do prefer enjoying the like making the plants that the creature prefers anyways. So if I ever like decide I want this enclosure in like franchise mode, and then I just need to only do a slight messing around to make sure all the parameters are right, and that's kind of like good for me in a sense. So I don't really do much on franchise. Obviously I don't make any videos on it. I only go on it every now and then just to sort of mess around. A lot of time really I'm playing Jurassic World Evolution, but yeah, that's just one of those things. The original plan for the Capybara was to add them to a pre-existing enclosure, and I had a really good idea of it, especially with it being an island enclosure, but in the end I was like, you know what, I want to fully make this enclosure, especially after like sort of seeing those images and having a rough idea how I'd like it to look. And as you see, it's kind of pretty much shaping along now. I'm adding all the shrubbery, it looks less barren, adding roots coming through the rocks and things like this. I was really happy that I didn't just go and add them to it. I mean, I can do anyways, but I actually made them their own enclosure. I really enjoyed this. This was quite a happy time for me, really, especially just watching them like moving around, things like that. It did kind of bum me out a bit that they won't go into that gap, even though it's huge. Like, I still, you can probably tell I'm talking about again that it's sort of bothering me just a slight bit, because it looks kind of cool. It'd be nice to see them in there, especially I've got the webcam set up in there, and that you can sort of like, this is a bit where I mess up. I use a bed and it sort of like tears a hole in the roof. I end up fixing that hole, but yeah. And I love all the different enrichments. I was sort of messing around because it kept saying that those were unaccessible, but I didn't realise if I left it on pause that it'd be unaccessible in a sense. So in the end I figure out when I unpause the game that it is accessible, so then I go and place it actually on the buoy, so it looks like the water runs through the gaps and back into the water itself. And I absolutely love watching the capybara use those. It's so cute. But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this and it's given you some inspiration with your builds. And if you know why they won't go through that gap into the bedding area, let me know in the comments. But again, like I said, thanks for watching, and I'll leave you with these few clips. Until next time, I'll see you later.